Oh, that's right. It's Monday afternoon, Monday, and we're here with our city manager. Yes, Charlie Barrineau. How are you doing today?
Hey, Ann, how are you? It is a good Monday.
It is a good Monday. I was thinking of Monday.
It started off to be one of those Mondays, but it's turned out good.
Well, it must be because you're going to hang around for happy hour today, right? So how is the state of the city of Greenwood?
You know, we're good. The sun is out today. We've got a lot of construction underway, new retail jobs coming to the area. Always can find improvements, but we're moving in the right direction.
We had that sidewalk sale Saturday, the backside sidewalk sale, and of course the farmers market was there, and you had some Ashby Stokes playing some music and some food being prepared. How did that go?
Went real well. We got some people on the sidewalks of the uptown area that probably haven't been there in a while, and that was our goal, just to simply say we're here and say thank you, and come out and see Greenwood's many unique and interesting businesses. And it's a great story. Sold a ton of produce. That little market stand there on Maxwell Avenue has done really well.
Are you going to add another one, or were you going to add refrigeration?
We've added refrigeration. Yeah, we now have a refrigerator there, and so we have certified raw milk that is being farmed in the Abbeville area and brought in. And we're trying to work to get permitted eggs, farm eggs in the stands. So we're expanding for sure. Right now the big hit is strawberries. Strawberries are still in season here. So you can get your certified strawberries, if you're listening right now, probably till about 6 o'clock down there at the stands. Breezy Farms is there till 6.
She does a great job.
She does. Penny is just an excellent asset for us. Anything that we ask of her, she bends over backwards. So she's just really good to work with.
And what days is the farmers market open now?
Right now we're still really not a dedicated days and hours of the week, because the season is just getting underway.
Sure.
So this week it was open Monday. It'll be open Wednesday and Thursday of this week with Canebrake Farms from Saluda, South Carolina. Canebrake, their focus is certified canned and value-added products. So we're trying to get it to where Paul, you know our friend Paul at Early Bird Farm, to get him in the regular mix, but he's got a lot in the ground, but it's just not producing yet. So come probably mid-May to 1st of June, you're going to see probably every day of the week will be open. We'll get back in with our friends at Crow Farm, Debbie Crow, and get them in the mix. But we would love to have more farmers. So if there's any small backyard farmer out there, we'd love to talk to you to become a part of our Uptown Market Stand program.
And what do they have to do, actually, to be part of that?
Really, it's pretty simple. We would encourage them to be South Carolina certified, but it's not required. They've got to have some insurance, to be able to name the city as an additional insured, and then pay $15 a day. So it's very cost effective. The returns that our farmers get from the value of the marketing and the traffic is well worth the few hoops that we make to go in. The city really wants to break even. We don't want to have any. We're just putting the facility there, making it nice, and hoping to fill it up with farmers.
And to get foot traffic. There is a goal, yes.
Yeah. We obviously want to get people eating at Kickers and Millhouse and shopping up and down Maxwell. We're hopeful we'll get more restaurants in that area. I think it's, I looked at some photography back from 2000, 2001, and it's changed a lot. You'd leave and go down Maxwell Avenue, and you might see a few karate students at E.S. Moon's studio,
right.
But other than that, the lower end of Maxwell Avenue was dead. And so it's come a long way with the work the Kickers has done, and now the Millhouse has bought their second building and have started renovating that. So we think that the chain reaction has started.
Well, I think that's great. There's still that one bigger building right next to County Bank, right? Correct, coming down Maxwell? Or not County Bank, it's the corner there.
Yeah, the old Greenwood hardware building.
Right.
It's still vacant. And, there are a number of variables that the owner wants to lease that building. So there's a lot of people that really want to buy their building. So many times that plays into it. But we've had some significant interest in that property. So the more events that we can have and the more foot traffic that we can draw to that area, just show off those properties really well.
Now, what about people living uptown? Have we expanded that at all?
We still haven't been able to get it to get strong traction. We've got 4 condos in the downtown, but again, it all plays together where you want to have these things for folks to do, whether it's live music or great food or the farmers market, and so we're building that, and we think that with other things that have grown, self-regional healthcare, other healthcare facilities, those folks that want a more walkable lifestyle will be encouraged to move downtown. It's a slow process.
Any hope of having those electric cars uptown that people can, they just opened that up in Greenville, Charlie, where you can get a electric car for an hour or 2 hours. They're doing that in Greenville.
I must miss that.
Oh, come on now, Charlie. Can't we have that here? It's in coordination, I think, with Enterprise Cars.
Okay.
But you can get the car for an hour, a couple hours, and they've got a plug-in station, and it is neat. Now that solves the problem of some of that bus traffic, possibly.
Yeah. I look at some natural gas stuff for some of our fleet, but haven't gotten into the electrical side of it. But it's always something we need to be looking at.
It's coming. It's
Yes.
coming. It is coming. All right. So we've got good stuff going on uptown. Now tell us a little bit about the what happened on the back sides. You got a grant to do that?
Yeah, that was 2 years ago. We secured a $300,000 grant from the South Carolina Department of Commerce, and each one of those buildings got a $20,000 portion of that grant. They had to put up 10% match. Many of the owners put up more than that. And so we then renovated the facades. If many of you remember, there was the honeycomb facade on the backside, all that, what we called honeycomb. It was a kind of a metallic cover that had been put up and to cover up the HVAC systems and the wiring. It was just really ugly. The pigeons had made nests out of it, and so it was time for it to come down. And we removed that, put all new doors in, new windows, and really made the back sides of those buildings look alive again.
Absolutely. Now, it looks like you've also done some improvements on, what is it, the one that runs right down in front of Court Street?
Yeah, right there in front of the Commissioners of Public Works where everybody pays their utility bill. We did make improvements there. That was another grant project. That was a community development block grant. Again, the goal there, if you can look at the previous pictures, was to get all the power lines in that area below ground. We've got currently 3 vacant buildings on that street, and so we want to make those buildings look very appealing and encourage walkability in that area. We think that that corridor obviously sees a ton of traffic. Everybody pays their utility bill or their taxes at the courthouse, and so we think that those buildings need to be occupied.
And any news on what's happening with the Inn on the Square?
No, it unfortunately did go into foreclosure, and really that's the latest I have heard. We would love to see that facility, whether it be there or another part of the downtown. We desperately need a hotel property to anchor the downtown, but something we'll let loose. But the number one lease, the number one deed holder, mortgage holder for that property did foreclose.
That's too bad. Well, we are here with Charlie Barrineau. He is the city manager. Hey, if you've got a question for Charlie, don't hesitate to give us a call, 229-7984. That's 229-7984. We're going to hear a word from our sponsors, and we're right back here at Sharp Facets Gallery, 229-7984. That's 229-7984. Charlie Barrineau, city manager, is here with us. We are talking about what's going on with the city. Now, you were telling me that, you have a lot of construction going on. What did you say, $17, $18 million projects?
Last time I checked our building inspection numbers for the areas really in the city and immediately around, the commercial construction has really picked up, 17 to 18 million, either under construction or just recently completed. Probably the most recognizable, I guess, Gary Russ's new facility, some of the retail there next to Lowe's on the bypass. The hospital's new facility next to McDonald's on South Main, and then Greenwood Eye Clinic has just broke ground there off of Alexander with their new facility. So yeah, a lot of dirt being moved in Greenwood.
Absolutely. And of course then we've got Project Smoke.
Yes. It's on fire.
It's on fire. Kohl's, PetSmart, any others that you know of?
They haven't officially given us any word to release anything, to be honest with you.
Well, Kohl's had a big sign up front that
says
Kohl's.
I think you could drive by and see Kohl's. But yes Kohl's, PetSmart, and Ross have been 3 that we've been made aware of, and we're hopeful. So we're excited. I think there's 2 different ways you can look at it. There's some folks that say, well, can Greenwood support all this? And I've seen the numbers. I've seen how much money leaks or leaves this community and how much gets spent of our dollars in the Augusta markets, the Greenville markets, and the Columbia markets. And so there's no question that this region will support these, and I think it will only grow our retail market.
Well, one of the things that I was thinking about, Charlie, was the fact that since we've gotten TJ Maxx and Hobby Lobby and Michael's and everything, we should have that 1% sales tax just about knocked out.
Yeah, the last meeting that I was in, I think the State of the Lake meeting, it was mentioned by the county folks there that it runs through maybe this quarter. I think they had to wait. The Department of Revenue controls when it ends, and I think it had to wait to the end of the quarter. So it may have been the end of June is what I heard. But yes, it's coming up in the coming months. The 1 penny capital sales tax will be completed.
And of course, but we still don't have an answer, do they, from that big government that we have on how much we're going to have to do or not do to the Buzzards Roost?
Yeah, I haven't been involved in those talks, but the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, FERC, I guess, will be the county's been negotiating with that and deciding what they're going to have to do with the dam.
Okay, and then though on that 1 penny, what happens to that 1 penny if we don't use it?
Then it goes back, and there's a number of things that the county will have to go through, and I'm, again, not sure about the complete details, but the county may have to go through and have the voters vote on that, or it's written in state law how that can be.
Okay. Well, we should definitely have reached it with all this retail that we didn't have that we now have here.
Sure.
So that's a good thing. All right. Now, one of the other things I wanted to ask you, there's something about complete streets. What's happening with that? What's
the city was approached by the South Carolina Palmetto Cycling Coalition to really, it's not that we're wanting to, it was really a position statement to say that in the future when we begin looking at projects to not just look at everything from vehicular transportation, but can we look at making sure that pedestrians are safe, bicyclists are safe, and all forms of transportation in our construction projects. And so we've already done some of that, particularly in our downtown area. We've made significant pedestrian improvements. And so that council adopted that measure, and it was just a resolution to say that, you know, when we think of transportation, we're going to think more than just vehicular traffic.
Does that mean you might be putting in some bike paths, or?
You know, to be honest with you, and Greenwood has an amazing asset that I believe it hasn't taken full advantage of, and that's the old railroad corridors. Our railroad corridors connect the entire community and really could be turned into some just amazing bike paths and some improvements seen. I haven't personally been on there, but I've been by it, and when I go to Greenville, and we hear so much about the Swamp Rabbit Trail that they've got in Greenville, and I think that can be done here as well.
Well, that would be a good thing. And of course, you got the Heritage Trail,
right?
So I mean, that's already part done, and over there by the park, they've been working on an area.
Yeah,
of that.
the railroad actually connects through the Heritage Trail into the downtown, and then it cuts across the Greenwood Mill Village through West Cambridge Park. From West Cambridge Park, it goes right by the new Jeff May Wellness Complex there at Lambda University, and then goes all the way out to the bypass at O'Charlie's and Greenwood Mall. So I mean, it really connects the community in an easy way when we have folks that come maybe visit the Jeff May site. You could walk easily to the park or to the mall and go shopping and things like that. So it makes sense to enhance those features.
Absolutely. Now, what about what's happening with the mill site there?
Yeah, the mill site, well, I'm hopeful. I know my council member, Johnny Williams, has been desperately trying to get the dirt moving in that area, but we have secured the money to begin removing the rubble. We have selected a contractor to help us to write that contract, to hire a contractor. We probably will have that out sometime middle of May, and I'm hopeful by June, July that the residents in that area will see bulldozers begin showing up, and we'll begin removing the rubble, the brick, the remnants that are still left of the mill from that site. Three things will still remain. The smokestack will still remain, and then there's two. There was a warehouse and in the original Greenwood Mill office space that's still there. Those will remain standing. once we get everything removed, then we'll begin doing assessments. That'll be soil assessments, groundwater assessments, and really looking at some, if any, of the environmental concerns in the area. Depending on what that data shows will depend on what future steps we take, whether the property is just used for green space, whether it can be future commercial or residential property. But this year, by the end of this year, I feel confident that at least the mess that is seen right now will be gone.
So, well, that'll be a good thing. Any ideas what you'd like to be able to do if everything was perfect?
Sure. I think you first want to involve the neighborhood itself. I think the Greenwood Mill Village and its leadership has done an exceptional job. I go to some of their meetings, and there may be 40 or 50 people that come to their meetings. So, whatever we do over there, we want to make sure that we involve them. From the city's perspective, we obviously want it to be tax-producing property. We don't need any more property that...
We lost a lot of tax-producing property.
We don't need any more property that isn't productive. So we would love to see a mixed use, whether it be residential or low impact commercial development on that site. But anything, even if it's just a green grass field, is better than what we have right now.
Absolutely. Now, while we're talking about additions and everything, where exactly are we on the farmers market? Last year he pulled out these big plans, and lots of people looked at them. And what's the future?
Sure. Council, at the end of last year, during their strategic planning, gave us the marching orders to continue doing research, to continue developing a business plan for the operation of that market. We're really we want to see how well the stands do, and they've just done exceptional. So I think one more year of the stand, so hopefully maybe towards the end of this year into next year, council will decide if they want to move forward with the construction of at least the first phase of that market.
And what about adding another farmers on one of those stands? Is that a possibility?
We looked at doing that, and right now we really there's not enough activity to if we brought 5 farmers down there, I'm not sure if there's enough activity to keep 5 farmers alive or productive. The setup that we have really is a trickle in. We have a lot of customers that come, but at a true market day on a Saturday, everybody shows up. And the way we've set it up, we have people coming throughout the week. So really, there's only enough, demand for 1 or 2 farmers a day with the setup that we have. If we go to a Saturday system, we think that we've got demand for 15 to 20 farmers. And it'll just depend. A lot of this, we're just learning. I guess we're going to other markets and seeing how they operate. And in the future, we'll make some decisions.
Okay. All right. Well, we are here talking with Charlie Barrineau. We're talking about everything to do with the city right here today. And, of course, you had to be proud when they had the Rural Summit here, showed off Greenwood.
Yeah.
You don't know how many people I talked to that said, I had no idea this was here in Greenwood, and said they would definitely be back.
Sure. Yeah, the Rural Summit was a lot of fun. I've been going to the Rural Summits now for a number of years, and it was exciting to have it in my hometown and to be very proud of all the work that we've done and have the governor here and get to highlight that.
Yeah, it was an exceptional, and I think everybody was impressed with how it came off, meaning the way you fed them, you moved them through, and you kept it interesting, and you had everybody was there, too.
Yeah, we had a good turnout.
You certainly did. So kudos to the city for doing that. And, of course, we've got such great venues to show off things.
Yeah, we we just keep having these small events. We had another one this past weekend. The Chevrolet Vintage Car Club of America, the Southeast region, was here, and I think we probably had 70 to 75 vintage car owners in the area. And I talked to a number of them from, Michigan, Pennsylvania, rural Georgia. I talked to a gentleman from Warner Robins, Georgia, and he was amazed at what Greenwood is able to do. He was telling me about Warner Robins and how they just could not get, all this activity in their downtown. But the group, they came in, and I think they caught a movie down at the drive-in, and then came back into town, and one day had a cruise in around the Dixie, and all had lunch at the Dixie, And then
So they
of
had a
course,
real experience.
They did.
That's
They
cool.
cruised into Uptown, and yeah, it was perfect. They used the Federal Building. They used John Holloway's studio. We had them here for 4 or 5 days. They booked out, I think, 2 hotels. It was a great event.
Excellent. Hey, we are here at Sharp Facets Gallery. It is time for South Carolina News. If you've got a question for Charlie, don't hesitate to give us a call, 229-7984. Go ahead, put him on the hot seat. We'll be right back.
Arg, are you a pirate or a pack rat? Do you have a vacation of a lifetime sitting in the attic? Or a college tuition hung on a wall? Or is a fabulous retirement hidden in your jewelry box? Bring those items to Sharp Facets Gallery. We can establish value and buy from you or sell for you. And so ends another chapter at Sharp Facets Gallery, 72 Bypass, and on the web, sharpfacets.com.
Oh, that's right. We're right back here, Sharp Facets Gallery on the 72 Bypass. We have Charlie Barrineau, city manager, right here with us. You know, Charlie, how long have you worked? Not only as city manager, but you were assistant city manager.
That's right. I came to the city of Greenwood in October of 2000, so I guess I am into my 12th year, going on 13.
A lot of changes.
It has, you know,
Yeah.
but a
Good
lot of,
changes.
yeah. But Greenwood's very stable. I mean, that's why I love being here. I mean, it's a great family environment. It's stable.
Sure. Now, when you talk about stable and everything, how's the economics, the budget, how's everything doing?
Yeah, the city just completed our 2011 audit. It's on our website, cityofgreenwoodsc.com. And we're still in great financial shape. The reserves are still strong. We, like every other government, have had to tighten up, and we've cut a number of positions. Unfortunately, had to lay off a few people last year. And as positions become vacant, we don't fill them as fast. And we do other things that we can to reserve funds.
Sure. And so, and of course, the other thing with the tax base that has shrunk some because of this nonprofit take it.
You know, the city's budget is not based on sales tax. Most of our budget is based on property taxes, and so when
that's a problem. There.
Yeah, our tax base in the city, probably 28% of it doesn't pay any taxes. But that they do produce a number of jobs and tax base and sales taxes. So it's a balancing act for us. We know that they're critical to what we do, but we at the same time have got to provide quality services. And so no matter if you're for profit, pay taxes, when you call 911, we respond the same either way. So
sure.
We've just got to make sure that we can provide quality services.
So overall, you're telling me that service and everything, we're not looking at having to cut services. You know, you read about all these different cities across that are doing all these really harsh things that are going to hurt the people that live in the cities.
Yeah, we have not had to make some drastic cuts. I think that maybe one of the biggest things that we tried this year, we closed our Fire Station 3 and consolidated all our personnel into Station 1 and 2 with the hopes that we could continue to provide the same coverage, but maybe save on some overtime. We're a quarter into that, and I don't think the savings have been significant. And so we'll be reporting back to City Council. You know, we cut a fire position, we cut a police records position, we cut a records position in our fire department. So we've asked our employees to really do more with less. Particularly a lot of our clerical positions, we've cut those. And a lot of that is a sign of the times too, in that our technology, we have come a long way with technology. When
Sure.
I started with the city of Greenwood in 2000, we didn't have a laptop in every police car, and now you have a laptop in every police car, and so they've got cameras, and so when you get that automation, you tend to now you need employees that are in the IT department
Sure.
and not in the records division. So we have seen some changes.
And just the fact, I presume, that all the records now are kept digitally as opposed to hard
Paper.
copy of
Right,
paper.
right.
I still think, though, there's an awful lot of paper generated.
There is.
I mean, I thought we were going to be rid of paper someday.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
It's come a long way. We used to have 3 or 4 files to back up the original file, but we now spend a lot of time. In fact, I just went through some training where we do a lot of disaster recovery, where we're making sure that we have our storage and off-site. We're buying data storage where literally in an off-site section we can hit a button and come back live if the city goes down digitally. So we spend a lot of time doing that. So paper's still there, but it's getting less and less.
That's right. Well, any issues that you can think of that really need to be addressed with the city, things that you're looking at and saying, should we or should we not, or maybe you'd like some input on as to what should be done?
I think some of the biggest struggles that we're going to have, particularly in the city, our housing stock is aging significantly. The city has not had a lot of new construction over the last probably decade to 2 decades, and so council just authorized at their last meeting for the city staff to begin tearing down a number of dilapidated homes. And so what we're hoping through projects like the South Main and Edgefield Corridor Master Plan, that we begin amassing a number of these abandoned properties and getting them cleaned up to where they can be redeveloped. We're hopeful that as healthcare, the Self complex grows and the Genetics Center complex grows, we can take the success in the downtown and then build residential people, getting people living back in the city again. So long term, that's going to be our biggest goal and challenge.
When Governor Haley was here, one of the things she was talking about was driving from one end of your town to the other end of your town and looking at it with a critical eye. Have you all done that?
Yeah, we've got 2 people that's all they do all day long, is drive around with a notepad and be critical. And it's a challenge. Nobody that wants to have their government be overbearing and tell people, what to do. But sometimes it just has to be done. None of us want to live next to a neighbor that doesn't cut their grass, or that has a couple of junk cars up on wheels, or dumps all their garbage in the backyard, or all the horrendous stories that I hear. Doesn't clean out their pool and it grows mosquitoes all over the place. So the government is there, and that we have to find a role that we protect everybody's property value.
So you're saying that you have identified things that would be problems to take care of. Are there any major ones that, let's say we have buildings where nobody is here, that's one of the big ones, and
Yeah.
we have a falling down building, but the owner doesn't live here, so you can't do anything?
Yeah, we have that trouble significant. We've seen a number of these properties that were rental type properties that have been foreclosed on here in the recent recession. And so, we as the taxpayers are going to end up demolishing those structures, and we'll all end up paying for it. But we're hopeful. We do our due diligence. We put liens on those properties, and in time, when things, and it may take decades, but as things transition, we think that if we amass a number of these properties and encourage revitalization in these areas, these properties will return and have value and produce, be tax producing again.
Now, one of the things that I really couldn't understand is some of the stories that have circulated out there about the crime rate in Greenwood. I mean, yeah. I was blown away to hear that. How did all that come about?
Yeah, and we were frustrated to see that. And the first statement that I made when we talked to folks was, it's hard for us to respond, because then they immediately think if we respond, well, we're trying to say we don't have a crime problem.
Sure.
And we do have a crime problem. There is no question that we have a crime problem, but we don't think that we're different than most communities. When you begin looking at that data, you can make a lot of quick, simple changes to the data. For example, the data that was in the WIFF report used FBI population data. Well, if you take those population estimates and change those estimates and put in the census estimates, we immediately drop to number 3 in the crime rate. The one thing that we wanted people to understand is, yes, we have a high crime rate, but no, we don't have a lot of random crime. What elevates our crime, and it's a fact, is that you are more likely to be injured by somebody that you know, or taken advantage of by someone you know, particularly the female, whether it's a boyfriend or a husband. And those are the areas, particularly domestic violence, that we struggle with, and our numbers are astronomical, and that's what drives the numbers, not theft and murder and robbery. It's domestic violence.
And that's one that's been underneath the radar for so long. I mean, in the last, I guess, 3 or 4 years, you've seen a turnabout as far as bringing it out into the open and trying to change the the perception of it, but that's a long-term project, isn't it?
It is. That domestic violence, I guess you get into that subject, it's no different than the subject of education. I mean, it really starts at the core. It starts at home. It starts with values. It starts with teaching, people respect, and that's just not something you can easily do overnight.
So that's a longer term. But the other one that I think is out there is our drug problem is getting worse. I mean, every day you see more drug arrests, which is great, but that means there's more people out there for them to catch them.
Yeah, and it's more expensive. We've now gone into these meth lab facilities, and I've gone on scene with our folks, and it's amazing how much money that we have had to spend to train, to prepare our police officers and firefighters. It used to be where the police officer would handle the drug scene. Well, now, we've got to have hazmat to come in on site, because we literally have a laboratory that's been developed, whether it's in a car, a hotel room, somebody's grandmother's apartment. It's really sad to see some of the sites that we've seen. I know I got a call from the fire chief one morning, and somebody had thrown out a meth lab out of the car in the middle of the road, and we had to pick it up. So it creates a lot of challenges, and it's again another area that society's got to improve.
One of the other things, speaking of the fire department now is helping with EMS, correct?
Yeah, we started that. Former City Manager Steve Brown began that program. I guess that's now 3 or 4 years ago. Our first responders program, and to be a police officer or a fireman, you got to have it's a mindset. You're not doing it for the money, I can assure you. It's those men and women love what they do and love giving back to their community. And the first responder program really was something that came from the firefighters themselves. They saw that there were many times that there may be a traffic accident or somebody may have a heart attack, where they could literally leave the fire station and get there faster and may be able to assist EMS. And so we're doing that, and we average probably 75 to 100 calls that we go on a month.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah. All right, well, we are here with City Manager Charlie Barrineau. Don't you go away. We're going to hear a word from our sponsors. We'll be right back. Give us a call, 229-7984. That's 229-7984. That's right. We're right back here at Shark Facets Gallery, coming up at 4:50 in the afternoon, folks. I have Charlie Barrineau, City Manager, here. Got to say congratulations to you and your wife. Got a baby boy on the way, huh?
Yes, number 4.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Yeah, in August, right?
August the 9th. I'm really excited.
Absolutely. Okay, well, that's good. That's good. Helping the economy here, Charlie. Keep it going. But, one of the things that I was, how are we doing tourist-wise? And do we have enough hotel? What's the possibility of any other hotels coming in here?
Yeah, the last numbers that I saw, really, we did not have any room for new rooms. I think I saw an occupancy rate of 50 to 60%. So the numbers did not reflect the need for a new hotel.
Oh, okay.
What I think most of us in the community would love to see is more of a combined hotel conference style space. Mm-hmm. But whether or not we can support that, it's too early to see. But I know many of us miss them on the square.
Absolutely. And of course, coming up here in of course, we've started Live After 5 again. That's back going.
Should be one next Thursday in Trans. They're a blues group. I think they're the House of Blues house band out of Myrtle Beach. So in Trans. In
Trans, okay.
Thursday at 5:30, next Thursday.
That's right. So that's started back up. Of course, the Festival of Flowers is coming up first part of June here, and that'll be month long. And then we roll right into the Festival of Discovery and Blues Cruise.
Yeah.
How's that looking?
Looks great. I talked with Gary Friday, Gary Irwin, Shrimp City Slim, and he's finishing up the blues lineup. So we should add a few venues this year. Barbecue teams are coming in left and right. I've begun the Festival Discovery barbecue tour. We do a recruiting tour, so I went up to Kings Mountain, their barbecue event 2 weeks ago. I'll be going to the Boss Hog Festival in Waynesboro.
The Boss Hog?
Boss Hog in Waynesboro, Georgia. We'll go there next weekend, and then we'll head on up to Tryon, North Carolina for the Blue Ridge Barbecue Festival. So we always do that to recruit teams. You got to stay on top of it. These barbecue festivals are extremely competitive with each other.
Sure.
So we've got to keep our A game going and making sure that the festival discovery is continues to be number one in the Southeast.
Absolutely. So but you still have to go out and recruit, huh?
I think it's
or
more
you just like going to the
well,
barbecue fest?
and I do like to eat barbecue. I will admit, I grew up eating barbecue, and I think I could eat it 7 days a week. But it's a camaraderie. Those folks, they know us by name. It's a family environment. But I think that's why they come back here, because we know them by name, and it's more than just a festival. So they come back every year for that.
Well, are you going to be able to add any more teams this year?
We're probably maxed out. 80 to 85 teams is about as many. We probably could continue to grow in the downtown area, but you lose that touch, that family event style. Many of the teams, we know them by name. We know their family members' names. We know what they've done. We keep up with them during the year through social media, and so that's really what we want to do. What we're hopeful that we can continue to expand is the blues. We're hopeful to add as many new venues to the Greenwood Blues Cruise as we can, because that then grows the economy. If you can get new restaurants, bars, pubs in the downtown area that are making money and providing jobs, that's a good thing.
Absolutely. So, I know we'll hear more about that, and we'll be having Angie on here real soon. She'll be back, and we'll get her on the air to talk to us more about what's going on with the blues. I know that's her baby, right?
Yeah. 12th annual.
12th annual.
July the 12th through the 14th.
The 12th on the 12th. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. All right. Well, you've got a lot of stuff cut out for what will be happening in Uptown Greenwood, and the mall has certainly come a long way.
It really has. I walked through the other day and it's just doing great. I think Michael's is doing some renovations so that they can open up into the mall.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, TJ Maxx is doing well. The shoe place there. So we're really excited for Rhonda and the folks at the mall.
And so is there a possibility, since everybody wants to know if Olive Garden is coming to town, is there a possibility, Charlie?
It's amazing, and I think there's even a Facebook page with over 1,000 people following it that want Olive Garden to come to Greenwood. But no, I have not seen any plans, have not talked with any developers, so I know that they've looked, but there's nothing out there. I'm sorry that I couldn't make anybody's Monday. No Olive Garden.
There's no Project Spaghetti?
No.
Project Spaghetti. We're having Mark Warner on here soon. I'll have to ask him about that one.
Project Spaghetti.
All right. Well, what about any new restaurants uptown?
Yeah, we're excited that we've got a new restaurant going into the former Taylor Gallery space there, right up from two stores down, I think, from T.W. Boone's. They're targeting their opening for the 1st of June with the name of Buffalo Grill.
Is that a franchise?
No, it's a couple from Buffalo, New York.
Hallelujah!
So, yeah, they claim that they want to show us Southerners their northern style of food. So I'm excited to see it. I think they're going to have a great addition, a nice restaurant bar atmosphere to the downtown. Looking forward to getting them on blues band for the Blues Cruise.
That sounds excellent. Well, we've got so much going on uptown, and of course, Gary Russ out here, opening up here. Long time coming together, but we can really get a feel. Hasn't it really changed the focus and the way that whole property looks?
Yeah, I was driving on the bypass one day this weekend. I think I was going to get donuts, and so. It changed the whole look of that side of the bypass, and so kudos to Gary Russ. I think they're targeting a June 1st opening, and we've heard strong indications that their property will be redeveloped pretty quickly. So we're excited about that. I know I get that question a lot: is it just going to be another vacant building? And we don't think so. We think that will get
Scoffed up
quickly.
Yeah. Is that what you're trying to say, Charlie?
Thank you.
All right. Well, this is great. We've had an excellent time. Now, just real quick, what was going on at this Upstate Vision?
Yeah, that's the 10 at the top, and it's really just trying to get us to think regionally. As planners, they begin looking at how much the Upstate is going to grow. And it's going to grow a lot over the next couple of decades. And so we want to grow better. Can we grow smarter? Can we grow where we think about landscaping and smarter growth. And so that's what we're trying to do, is to all, as an upstate community, work together, whether it's Greenville, Spartanburg, Anderson, and communicate some of the ideas and smart planning techniques that we're using.
Now that, and I know that we need some more manufacturing type businesses, don't we?
We do, and it's interesting. You go and you hear from these manufacturers, and manufacturing is actually growing.
I know.
But it's
we're going to be the tire capital of the United States here.
Yeah, but it's smarter. It's more engineered based, more technology based. Metal. There's a lot of really unique processes that are growing, but you got to be smarter and have a lot more technology to be more productive.
Absolutely. So we certainly could use more jobs here. I know retail jobs are good, but we need some of those manufacturing jobs.
Without a doubt, pays better, benefits, and we want those here in our community.
So I certainly hope, I think we're going to have Mark on in a couple of weeks here, Mark Warner, and maybe he'll tell us about some projects like Project Spaghetti or Project whatever. He'll have a name for it. I love how he comes up with these names and taunts us to come up and figure it out. All those things do is make everybody try to figure out what it is. Yes.
That's right.
So, well, it certainly has been good to have you here today. I know that we'll have good stuff coming up. The Uptown sure looks beautiful.
Thank you, and we've got a lot of dedicated employees, and the leadership in this community over the number of decades has just done an exceptional job. We're very proud of Greenwood's downtown, uptown area.
Absolutely. It's been marvelous. Well, listen, we are just about out of time here. Charlie Barrineau has been our very special guest. We'll have that on the website tomorrow, and we'll have a video there. Yes, Charlie, you'll be on YouTube tomorrow, so stay tuned, check it out. Hey, I am Ann Eller. It's just about time for us to say goodbye, and then I'll be back with Happy Hour with Ann. Stay tuned. We're going to have a rockin' good time with that attitude adjustment right here on WCRS, right here in Greenwood, South Carolina. We'll be back. News is up.